මෙතන තියෙන්නේ ටයිටැනික් නව ගෙරුණාට පස්සේ ඊට පස්සේ නඩුව කපු විදිහ උසාවියේ මොකද උනේ තේරිච්ච අය ඉන්නවා ඒගොල්ලෝ මොනවද විස්තර දුන්නේ ඒ ටික තමයි මෙතන තියෙන්නේ ඒගොල්ලෝ එක වීඩියෝ එකක් විදිහට කරලා ඒ මෙතන දාලා තියෙනවා බලලා ඉවරලා එන්න කියලා ඉන්ක්වයරි එක කොහොමද කරේ කියලා
The inquiry is attempting to cut through the confusion of that terrible night. Were those in third class, in steerage, forgotten in the rush to claim places in the lifeboats? John Hart, one of the stewards in third class, gives evidence.
About how many third-class passengers had you in your sections altogether?
Somewhere about 58. 9 were men.
Can you help us fix the time when the order was given to pass the third-class women and children up to the boat deck?
The vessel struck, I believe, at 11:40. It must have been 3 parts of an hour before the word was passed out to me.
This would be about 12:30.
Yes, ma'am.
In order that your third-class women and children should get up to the boat deck, they would have to mount a number of decks and go up a number of stairs. You led them.
I went ahead of them.
At that time, were there any barriers that at ordinary times are closed, but they were open?
There were barriers that at ordinary times are closed, but they were open.
So, where did you take the passengers to?
I took them to the only boat that was left then, boat number 15.
Now, this is an important point. You say the only boat that was left.
That I could see.
Was there room for them in it?
Yes, they were placed in it.
Did you see anyone keeping the third-class passengers back so as to prevent them getting to the boat deck?
No, my lord.
So, according to you, all the women and children who were taken up and who wanted to escape could have done so.
I do not doubt that for a moment.
Can you explain how it was, that being so, that 55% of the women of the third class were drowned?
I cannot account for it. No, sir.
Despite the fact that no third-class passengers were called as witnesses, the inquiry concludes that every soul on the Titanic had an equal chance of survival.
It had been suggested before the inquiry that the third-class passengers had been unfairly treated, that their access to the boat deck had been impeded, and that when at last they reached that deck, the first and second-class passengers were given precedence in getting places in the boats. There appears to have been no truth in these suggestions.
The question we're looking at here at the British Board of Trade Inquiry is a simple one. Was the Titanic going too fast for the sake of commercial reasons? Should she have slowed as she headed toward ice? Managing Director of the White Star Line, Mr. J. Bruce Islay, is at the stand.
Sir, if you were approaching ice in the night, it would be desirable, would it not, to slow down?
I am not a navigator.
Answer the question.
Lord Mersey has interjected.
Yes. I say no, I am not a navigator.
You have told us that you spoke with the chief engineer about running the ship at full speed. Was Captain Smith present?
He was not.
And you had no conversation with him during the voyage about speed?
Absolutely not.
Then will you tell us how it was he was to become aware of your decision to increase the speed on Tuesday?
Mr. Ismay said he planned to run the Titanic at full speed on Tuesday the 17th of April as they approached New York, but the ship struck the iceberg on the night of the 14th.
I think the engineer probably spoke to him.
Did you make any arrangement with the engineer about that?
I did not.
So, all of this, you had no conversation with the captain about it?
Absolutely not.
The American Senate inquiry, which finished at the end of April, suggested that Mr. Ismay wanted Titanic to arrive at New York in record time, a charge Mr. Ismay has vigorously denied.
Then you did know on the Sunday morning that in the ordinary course of things between then and the Monday evening, you might be increasing your speed to full speed.
I knew that if the weather was suitable, either on the Monday or the Tuesday, that the vessel would go at full speed for a few hours. I want to ask you this question.
That's Thomas Scanlon, representing the National Sailors and Firemen's Union.
I want to ask, by what right had you, an ordinary passenger, to decide the speed of the ship without any consultation with the captain?
Well, I can answer that.
Lord Mersey is restless again.
None. You are asking him something which is quite obvious he has no right.
But he may, as a super captain.
What sort of person is a super captain?
I will tell you as I conceive it, my lord. And as a man, like Mr. Ismay, you can say to the chief engineer of a ship what speed that ship should be run at.
A number of the witnesses were also questioned about the speed of the Titanic during the voyage, and the inquiry has come to a conclusion. Sir Rufus sums up.
We are left in some difficulty in understanding what took place between Mr. Ismay and Captain Smith. But I do not think there is evidence that Mr. Ismay interfered. When Captain Smith showed him the ice warning, he should have said, "Go slow." He did not. Captain Smith should have slowed down.